Hey, 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 welcome back to day 32 of 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. Today, we are going to continue talking about what it takes to have a win win mindset. You know, that all you can eat buffet that we discussed yesterday. So, your homework last night was to write a paragraph about a time where you had that competition mindset, that whole win at all costs mindset, and it negatively affected you. It didn't work out so well for you. I wanted you to write about that time and I wanted you to evaluate it and tell me how you can use it in the future to not make the same mistake again. I hope you were successful in that because when we step back and we look at the bigger picture, it can really clarify things for us. And we can totally understand at that point ideas and thought processes that we didn't have or didn't understand from the get go. All right, so now let's move on. Today, we're going to talk about the second part of the tumor twins, and that is comparing. Comparing is competition's twin, and it's just as cancerous. Comparing yourself to others is nothing but bad news. Why? Because we're all on different development timetables, socially, mentally, and physically. Since we all bake differently, we shouldn't keep opening the oven door to see how well our cake is rising compared to our neighbors. Or our own cake won't rise at all. Although some of us are like the poplar tree, which grows like a weed the moment it's planted. Others are like the bamboo tree, which shows no growth for 4 years, but then grows 90 feet in year 5. I once heard it described this way: life is like a great obstacle course. Each person has their own course, separated from every other course by tall walls. Your course comes complete with customized obstacles designed specifically for your personal growth. So, what good does it do to climb the wall to see how well your neighbor is doing, or to check out his obstacles in comparison to your own? That'll just distract you from your own obstacles. Building your life based on how you stack up compared to others is never good footing. If I get my security from the fact that my GPA is higher than yours, or my friends are more popular than yours, then what happens when someone comes along with a higher GPA or a more popular friend? Hmm. Comparing ourselves makes us feel like a wave of the sea tossed to and fro by the wind. We go up and down, feeling inferior one moment and superior the next, confident one moment and intimidated the next. The only good comparison is comparing yourself against your own potential. Actress, singer, and songwriter Ariana Grande has taken Hollywood and the internet by storm. But even with her fame, she's managing to maintain a healthy attitude when it comes to her body image and comparison. As she says, too many young girls have eating disorders due to low self esteem and a distorted body image. I think it's so important for girls to love themselves and to treat their bodies respectfully. Ariana goes on to say that sometimes people can be extraordinarily judgmental and close minded to anyone different or special, which is why it's so hard for young people in this day and age to be comfortable enough in their own skin to not listen to the people picking on them. Be happy with being you. Love your flaws. Own your quirks. And know that you are just as perfect as anyone else, exactly as you are. Maybe this refreshingly healthy attitude is why everyone loves her and her music and why she has so many Twitter followers. Let's hope this sweet actress, singer, dancer can continue to be such an inspiration. I once interviewed a girl named Anne who got caught up in the web of comparisons for several years before managing to escape. She has a message for those who are caught. My problem started in freshman year when I entered Clayton Valley High School. Most of the kids there had money. How you looked and dressed was everything. The big question was, who is wearing what today? There were so many unspoken rules about clothes. You could never wear the same thing twice. You could never wear the same thing as someone else. Brand names and expensive jeans were everything. You had to have every color, every style. I had a boyfriend who was a junior and whom my parents didn't like. Our relationship was good at first, but after a while, he started making me feel self conscious. He'd say stuff like, "Why can't you look like her? How come you're so fat? If you just changed a little bit, you'd be just right." Oof. Pause, momentary pause, because that just made me furious. Okay, back to reading. We're right here. Right here. Okay. I began to believe my boyfriend. I'd look at other girls and analyze all the reasons I wasn't as good as them. Even though I had a closet full of clothes, I remember having anxiety attacks because I couldn't decide what to wear. I even began shoplifting because I wanted to have the latest and best clothes. After a while, who I was hinged on, who I was with, what I looked like, and what kind of clothes I had on. I never felt good enough for anyone. To cope, I started binging and purging. Eating gave me comfort, and purging gave me some twisted kind of control. Although I wasn't fat, I was so scared of being fat, it soon became a big part of my life. I started throwing up 30 to 40 times a day. I'd do it at school, in the bathrooms, and anywhere else I could find. It was my secret. I couldn't tell my parents because I didn't want to let them down. I remember being asked by the popular group one time to go to the football game. They were 16, 1 year older than me. I was so excited. My mom and I worked and worked to find me the perfect outfit. I waited by the window for hours, but they never came to pick me up. I felt worthless. I thought I wasn't picked up because I wasn't cool enough or I didn't have the right look. Finally, it all came to a head. While I was on a stage performing in a play, I suddenly became totally disoriented and passed out. Waking up in the dressing room, I found my mom at my side. "I need help," I whispered. Admitting that I had a problem was the first step to my recovery, which took several years. Looking back now, I can't believe I got into that state of mind. I had everything I needed to be happy, but I was still so miserable. I was a cute, talented, healthy girl who got caught up in a world of comparisons and was made to feel not good enough. I want to shout out to all of us young people, don't ever do this to yourself. It's not worth it. The key to my recovery was meeting some really special friends who made me feel that I mattered because of who I was and not what I wore. They told me, "You don't need this, you're better than that." I began to change for myself, not because someone else told me that I had to change to be worthy of their love. Okay, so before I go into the next part, I just want to say this right now, that telling someone you are dating they are fat, they aren't good enough, making them feel insignificant is that is mental abuse. Straight up, straight up mental abuse. This poor child was the victim of mental abuse and she had no clue. She was crafted to feel like she was not good enough, like she would never be good enough, and she only knew what she was told basically. There at this point nothing her parents could do because of her insecurities would have changed the way she felt or the decisions that she made. Okay? So what we do and what we say and how we act and the way we treat people is is so unfair sometimes. And when they say, because growing up younger, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, that's just a straight up ball faced lie. The way we speak to people is everything. The way we speak to ourselves is everything. If you feel that you are not enough, then I can help you, just straight up, because I have been there and I have done that, and it is not okay. I spent most of my entire life feeling that way, and I don't feel that way anymore, but I had to overcome it, and it was difficult, just like this young lady's situation was. So, with that being said, Don't ever let anyone influence you in that way. You determine your worth. You create your future. The words that you say to yourself are the only ones that should matter. What Sarah down the street thinks should not matter. It is none of your business. And let me tell you what, I have a ring that I wear on my pointer finger every single day of my life. And on that ring, it says, I am enough. I have an initiative on my business page and on Instagram that says, I am enough. And so are you. And don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise, because you are, you will, and you always will be. You have been, and you always will be enough. Now I'm going to step off my horse, my high horse there. I apologize, but that's something I'm very passionate about. And let's move on. We're right here. The pearl of wisdom from the story is break the habit. Stop doing it. Comparing yourself can become an addiction as strong as drugs and alcohol. You don't have to look like or dress like a model to be good enough. You know what really matters? Don't get caught up in the game and worry so much about being popular during your teen years, because most of life comes after. Please see eating disorder website in the back of this book if you need to do that. All right, so homework. I want you to think about a time that you were made to feel like you were not enough. And I want you to write about it. Now, there is an exercise that I like to do, and we'll do it. All right, here. Don't write about a time that you feel like you weren't enough. I want you to do something else. I want you to get out a piece of paper and two different like a pencil and a pen, or two different marker colors. Anyways, you need two different colors. You need a piece of paper or 6 pieces of paper. It doesn't matter how many you use. But I want you to write down on that piece of paper, as number 1, a lie that you tell yourself. So lie 1, I don't dress nice enough, like this girl had, okay? Lie 1, I don't dress nice enough. Now I want you to skip 4 lines and write number 2, lie number 2, I'm fat. Skip 4 lines, write your third lie, and then skip 4 lines. Then number 4, write your lie. Whatever comes into your mind, what lies do you constantly tell yourself? I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'll never have what so-and-so has. I'll never have the grades I want because I'm stupid. Another lie, I'm stupid. Okay, so I want you to write down all of these lies that you tell yourself. And then once you've written down every lie and you've skipped 4 lines in between, I want you to go back and write down the truth. And when you write the truth, it needs to be in your favorite color. Okay? So if your favorite color is blue, then use pencil to write the lie. Actually, use pencil to write the lie anyways, so that you can erase it when you're done, because that's the last step. Write your lie, fill in those 4 lines with the truth. So if you wrote, I'm fat, write down, I'm perfect for my body build, or however you feel. I'm not fat, I'm athletically built. I'm not fat, I'm strong. Write down your truth. And let me tell you what, it is going to be difficult because you don't believe it. That's why you tell yourself these lies. But this is an incredibly powerful exercise. Write down your lies, then go back and fill in the blanks with your truths. Now, once you've filled in the blanks with your truths, I want you to put your paper away. I don't want you to look at it for about 24 hours. Then once that 24 hours is up, I want you to take your paper back out. I want you to read the lie. and then I want you to read the truth, and then I want you to erase your lies so that all you're left with is the truth. And then every day for the next month, 30 days, for the next 30 days, I want you to take that paper or papers out, and I want you to read your truths to yourself in the mirror out loud. And I know that that may sound lame to you, whatever, but it's a legit thing. It is called mirror talk, and it works. I want you to hold your piece of paper with your truth on it and read it to yourself out loud while looking at yourself in the mirror. So if your lie is, I am a terrible person, then I want you to make eye contact with yourself in the mirror and say, I am a kind and gentle person. If your lie is, I will never be good enough, then I want you to make eye contact with yourself in the mirror and say, I am, I always have been, and I always will be good enough. 30 days, folks. All right. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson today. I will catch you on the flip side. Do your homework. This one's super important. Toodle-doo.